Hey guys, Awesomefusion here with another guide and commentary, this time with Fizz. Fizz is an amazing champion for solo queue that can snowball really hard. I like to think of him as the Riven of mid lane. Now first, before we talk about how to play him, or what items to build, I want to go into who to pick him against and who not to. The main three champions not to pick Fizz against would have to be Galio, Morgana, or basically any bruiser / tank. The reason for not picking Fizz against these champions is simply that they are too tanky for you to burst down. Consider Galio's passive and also Morgana's shield. You also shouldn't play Fizz against bruisers for much the same reason. It can still work, but you have to completely outplay them and your short window for kills is in the very early game. Three champions you would want to pick Fizz against are Twisted Fate, Karthus, and Ziggs. A common trait of these champions is that they are all squishy. They would all have trouble building enough damage to be useful and enough magic resist to not instantly die to your amazing burst. Fizz is one of the biggest counters to TF because of his kill potential. TF has no natural escapes and relies on flash to be able to dodge the shot correctly. Fizz's E is also exceptional at dodging stun cards. The entire point of picking Fizz against TF is to constantly keep him in fear of death and stop him from roaming with his ult. The longer you are left in lane against him, the higher chance you have of getting a kill. If you also have the area around mid warded, you can successfully stop TF's ult with your own if you shoot it fast enough. Concerning Karthus and Ziggs, much like TF, they have no natural escapes or anywhere to stop your ult, latching onto them apart from flash. You can also use E when Karthus ults to completely stop the damage. Fizz's E is also extremely useful to jump over the minefield that Ziggs lays on the floor. For summoners, I always go Flash Ignite. Some people like the idea of going Heal Ignite on Fizz, but I don't think the advantage you gain in lane from going Heal Ignite outweighs the disadvantage you get in teamfights. Regarding masteries, I just use a standard AP page, 2109. For runes, I like to take Armor Yellows to minimise the harass you take from the early game auto attacks. The rest is pretty standard AP page. Your first back should be 1 or 2 Dorans, a ward and some pots. The first item you want to rush for should be Sheen. It greatly increases your damage and also procs off your Q. Boots wise, I can't see myself going any other boots than Sorcerer boots. I personally like rushing Lichbane, although you have no extra AP to complement it. I feel you still do enough damage and the movement speed can help quite a lot with roaming. Alternatively, you can just get a Sheen and build Deathcap straight after. Once your Lichbane is complete, you have a choice of 2 item routes, Rabadon's Deathcap or Zhonya's Hourglass. Zhonya's is such a good item on Fizz as it synergizes so well with his E, much for the same reason people build it on Vlad, because you can zone people for so long with it. After you've completed that, just finish the other item that you didn't choose. I think the choice between Zhonya's and Rabadon's depends on the enemy's team setup. If they have a lot of stuns or CC to lock you down, you might want to take the Zhonya's. If not, Rabadon's generally just does more damage. Items to consider after this can be Guardian Angel, Void Staff, Deathfire Grasp, and Abyssal Scepter. So one thing you're going to have to come to terms with and you might not like is the first few levels you're going to have a hard time. Like any melee champion played in mid, it can be very difficult to get the early CS when you're constantly being auto-attacked and harassed with spells. You're just going to have to deal with it and let the wave push into your tower if need be. It's possible to get kills from say level 4 onwards, but the main time you should be going for kills is level 6 when you have your ultimate. You'll also find the ultimate makes it extremely easy to get ganks off on your opponent. Throughout the laning phase you have 2 things to focus on, either roaming or trying to kill your lane opponent. Fizz deals a great amount of damage early game. It can be very easy to roam, using your E to hop over walls and escape from players. Your main role in teamfights is to be an assassin. Depending on who their AD and AP carry is, you should ideally land your ult onto one of them. Later on into the game, when you have finished some of your main items, you'll begin to notice, if you get fed enough, it can be quite easy to one-shot their AD carry. Make sure you stay on the sidelines until you see a good opportunity to do so. Thanks for watching guys, and if you liked this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow me on Twitter.